UFC Vancouver. This is the weigh-in recap show, full card predictions, and the betting breakdown. I'm looking forward to talking about each of the matchups on this card after seeing the fighters on the scales. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn the post notifications on. Make sure you share the video too. And also note, I'll be live for the entire card, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Don't miss the fight companion. I'll also be calling into the big trio show that Guru, Lucas, Tracy, and Bedtime are hosting. So excited to do some call-in collabs. But I'll still be live here the whole time. Don't miss it. Come watch your boy and support. And let's get into fight number one. The ladies going after it. We got Melissa Croden versus Tainara Lisboa. Throughout the week, I have been picking Melissa Croden to win. Lisboa, knee injury, kept her out for a while. Like relearn how to walk and things. Comes back, loses to Luana Santos, former women's flyweight, coming up in weight. She got dominated on the ground. Melissa Croden is a pretty decent prospect. But wait a second. Is she a prospect at 34? It's women's MMA, so I'm going to call her a prospect. Her striking game is legit, aggressive stand-up, Muay Thai based. Now, Lisboa has the more credentialed Muay Thai, but I will push back on the multiple-time world champ thing. Depends on what organization, of how much importance it really holds. Croden's MMA striking is good. I would say Croden has the physicality advantage. She seems to be in better shape. She's not coming off of a potentially career-ending knee injury. I feel as though she can match the strike rate of Lisboa. I think she can match and even exceed the physicality of Lisboa. I think she can win the battle of the clinch. She can win the battle in the grappling. She can win the battle, I feel like, even in the kickboxing realm. Croden seems a bit more athletic to me. And I think that Lisboa, not looking good on the comeback, bad injury. Hard to say where she's at. 34 years of age, 7-3, but as is Croden, age is the same. I will say one green flag is, hey, she went 5 rounds with Cavalcanti. She lost, but Cavalcanti's a lot better than Lisboa, and she still won rounds against Cavalcanti. I believe it was like 50, 45, 49, 46, 48, 47. So 2 out of the 3 judges gave her at least a round. I think that Croden should win here against Lisboa. I picked her as an underdog. It flipped. You'll see Croden on the scale, and what you're going to see is immense physicality edge. She looks jacked. She looks shredded. She looks like a big bantamweight. Lisboa looks decent, especially for a girl coming off, a bad injury. She looks okay. Looking at the face-off between the two, Croden didn't take the shirt off at the ceremonials, but I will tell you, you could see from the cuts in the legs, this girl is in peak shape. I don't feel the same way about Lisboa. Like, Lisboa's fit. Doesn't look awful. But I think that Croden's going to have that physicality, athleticism advantage that could take her far in a matchup where, skills could be close in some way. But even though Croden doesn't have the experience as a pro that's like, whoa, she's, a prospect with 15 fights. Lisboa's inexperienced too. But where I'm going with it is, it's like Croden seems to be more youthful of the two. She seems like the younger woman. And I think that you're going to see her be able to outwork Tainara Lisboa. I think Croden is going to go out and win. She's a finisher by trade. Naturally, her style is violence first. You look at her resume, finishes are the way she wins fights. Lisboa, not easy to finish, but I could see Croden putting it on her, getting on top of her, beating her up with ground and pound, maybe stopping her. Now, minus 120, close money on the line. You see it earlier in the week. And even, oh my God, if you're a month out, not even a few weeks out, plus 235. Croden opened up as a huge underdog. Line has now flipped to Croden as the favorite. So the money is on Croden altogether. If Lisboa wins, she's going to have to really showcase in a performance that's beyond what I'm expecting is the level she can offer now. Over 2.5 is minus 195. Listen, the prop bet inside is not great. Croden inside distance plus 235. Croden by sub plus 900. She takes the back and strangles her, uses that physicality, beats her up a bit. It's not a wild take. Croden lands most takedowns, plus 140. That wouldn't surprise me. Croden most significant strikes, minus 160. I think so. The spread on Croden to dominate is plus 150. She got a 30-27. She could, but not necessarily crazy about it. This is the second highest level girl she's ever fought, and it's the UFC debut, so potential anxiety hitting her. But I think that Croden should win. I think skill set wise, Croden, can defeat a Lisboa on top of the intangibles with Lisboa having a detrimental knee injury. I feel as though Croden can find a way to pull it off. Striking wise, I think that Croden's going to be a bit quicker and a bit more aggressive with the offensive output. Lisboa, though she's a Muay Thai based fighter, likes to use grappling and implement grappling, but she's not a great wrestler. Most recent win is Ravana Oliveira, who's fighting at 115 on this card by decision, and it wasn't impressive. Croden should dominate. I'm going Croden for the win. Next fight, we got Azamat Bekoev versus Yusri Belgaroui. Listen, I'm an Azamat's witness now. I think Azamat Bekoev is going to beat Yusri Belgaroui anywhere this fight takes place, but with the caveat, obviously not from long range. Yes, Belgaroui is freakishly tall, 6'5", 79-inch reach, ex-pro kickboxer. Striking is decent. He has okay straights. His body kicks are solid. His knees on the inside are all right. But it's like, for a guy coming from kickboxing, what I don't like about him is he's not one of those explosive strikers. He's more of the finesse style hitter. You see certain guys with kickboxing. Almost reminds me of how Andrew Tate fights a little bit. The chin is up high. Obviously, he's better than Andrew Tate. But a little slappy on the punches. Doesn't hit with a lot of impact. Isn't a real physical guy. More of the technical side of kickboxing. And that works in pro kickboxing. When you transition that to professional mixed martial arts, I just don't think he can get down and dirty in close range with Bekoev. I think Bekoev can out-wrestle him. I think Bekoev can out-dirty box him. Bekoev does not have to take him down to win this fight. I know there's a lot of people saying that, and I know it's easy to fall into the trap of believing, but when you have Bekoev in your face, close range, up against the cage, I could see the dirty boxing working. He could catch Belgaroui with shots over the top. Bekoev has serious power in that right hand. He'll throw his whole body into it. On top of that, though, I think he can wrestle Belgaroui. He can get on top. He can beat him up with ground and pound. Bekoev's got way more MMA fights. Bekoev is the full-time MMA fighter for a lot longer. Younger by 4 years. Okay, yeah, he's not, a Poetan prospect. Poetan's a one of one, guys. Belgaroui is essentially the great value Pereira. And most of the time when you get a guy that's highly successful in pro kickboxing that makes an MMA transition in their 30s, it's not world champ and potential GOAT status. It's Yusri Belgaroui. And I will predict we see a Yusri Belgaroui go out and get handled by Azamat Bekoev. Probably gets finished. Probably Bekoev on top of him. Potentially a sub. I like inside distance. But I will say, though, Belgaroui's size, and if he's with Pereira, I'm sure they're working on neutralizing from bottom position and just fucking holding. Maybe it's a snooze fest of a decision. But either way, Bekoev should be the guy getting the hand raised. As far as the scales between the two, Belgaroui's in shape, for sure. Looks like the damn Slenderman with that long neck. Bekoev's got aura. Tell me he doesn't. Bekoev has got the aura. He looks ready to go. I like Bekoev. I'm a Bekoev fan for sure. I watched Belgaroui live on Contender Series twice. I never was like, wow. I was like, what? I was like, this guy's supposed to be good? Physicality-wise, you can see. Listen, that's a striker's build that Belgaroui has. Bekoev has the MMA build. He looked fucking incredible on the scale, too. Yeah, he's shorter. Got to overcome some reach. Belgaroui is not going to sting him from the outside and kickbox from distance for 3 rounds, and he's not going to knock Bekoev out. We saw it with Belgaroui on Contender. You can close that gap on him. He gets that gap closed. I don't think he's got enough punching power to keep Bekoev off of him. I'm going Bekoev. I think he's going to buzzsaw through him, and that's why Bekoev, to me, is a lock. He's part of the Lock City 2-leg parlay. He's going to win. Minus 280. Yes, he's a fat favorite, but he's going to win. Plus 240 for Belgaroui on the other side. But again, I think Belgaroui is a shiesty pick. I don't think he pulls through. I don't think there's much of a chance of it. Over a round and a half, minus 175. This fight could damn well go 1 round. Under plus 153. You might say, oh, but Belgaroui never finished in MMA before. Okay, true. In MMA, he's never been finished. But who the fuck has he fought? That's Azamat Bekoev. Okay, oh, well, Marco Tulio. Marco Tulio's a striker. And Marco Tulio's overrated, man. Trayshawn Gore gave Marco a bit of a fight on the field, I must say. And I think Bekoev's takedown threat is different. So there's a possibility of Bekoev getting on top early and stopping this. Inside distance, minus 115. Now, decision, the value, plus 225. as opposed to, you know, inside distance. I can see why you'd want to bite. If you think submission, you don't get much more plus 240. I'll tell you this. If submission was plus 600, I'd say fuck it. You could get him in an arm triangle, a rear naked choke. Might be worth a sprinkle, but not at this line. Belgaroui sub plus 3,000. It won't happen. It won't happen. Bekoev round one, it's not great. Plus 275. It's not great. I think Bekoev 2-leg parlay, inside distance. I feel good about that. He's expected to land more takedowns. Obviously, inside distance, win form makes sense. Most significant, yes, minus 200 makes sense. The spread, they have minus 7.5. That means, you know, pretty much 30-27s across the board. I mean, I definitely could see it. At minus 135, I could see. I'd be surprised if Belgaroui makes it close at all. If he won a round, I'd be pretty surprised. 30-27s across the board is 9 points. You get 2 29-28s in there somehow, some way, then, you know, you're only 7. You lose that shit. But I don't think Belgaroui wins a round. I mean, worst case scenario, Bekoev decision and dominant. I think Bekoev dominates this fight. I see him closing that distance. I see him doing well. I see Bekoev as a guy that has a potential towards top 15. I don't see that same thing with Belgaroui. He didn't get signed off Contender Series. I didn't see it then. So the UFC didn't either. And I don't think he's losing. I don't think Bekoev's losing to him. I'd be shocked. So win for Bekoev confidently here. Next fight on the card. Stephanie Luciano versus Frevola Oliveira. I've been picking Stephanie Luciano, and I've said I'm excited to see Oliveira on the weigh-in because her most recent fight was 2 years ago at 135 pounds versus Tainara Lisboa. She even took her down in the first round, which is kind of impressive. Then got grapple fucked, but it doesn't matter. She's taking on a kickboxer here in Luciano. I think Luciano's the better kickboxer. She's going to be faster. Oliveira's used to the bigger women up. It's like the speed differential. It's going to be obvious. I think Oliveira's going to have a hard time dealing with the, you know, technicality on the straight shots, the teeps up the center, the low kicks, and the lateral movement. I see Luciano winning the striking battle, but I must say, you're going to see it in a second when we go to the scales. Like, Oliveira, she looked good. She looked really good. She looks in shape. Oliveira dialed in. Like, this could be a whole new look for her. So, you know, Luciano, I'm picking. She looks solid there. I get it. The pick makes sense. But, like, looking at Oliveira, there is this slight fear of the unknown that I have because I'm like, we've never seen her at this weight class. She looks in the best shape probably in her entire career. But red flag is 2 years off. Does she come back a whole new fighter? She's still young. Not like she's old. 28. Luciano seems to have some real potential, though. I'm going to go Luciano on the judges' scorecards. If Oliveira looked terrible on the scale, I was thinking maybe an inside distance, but no, she looked far from terrible. She looks ready. She looks like an in-shape Brazilian girl coming to fight. I think Luciano's going to be the sharper blade, technically superior, and I think striking-wise, she's going to be able to win that battle. And I think she's going to land, you know, probably these 15 more significant strikes than the side of Oliveira. I think there's going to be a big speed differential, but I could see Oliveira testing with some takedowns, maybe even, you know, landing a takedown. But Luciano's got her P's and Q's, you know, chopped off nicely. They're checked off nicely, I should say. And on the side of Oliveira, it's a Lisboa loss, nothing else. She doesn't have high-level experience outside of the UFC. Luciano's from Contender Series. I just like that more. Minus 286 for Luciano. Oliveira sitting at plus 246. The Luciano side, it's wide, but come on. Like, do you see her losing this fight? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Let's see the odds here for, you know, some prop betting. Over is boring at minus 310. I said the inside distance could be live. Luciano could maybe get a knockout. She really puts it on. Plus 550. She's not known for the KO. Oliveira's first fight at 115. What if the chin is testy? But her looking in great shape just makes me not feel that good about this. So Luciano decision more sensible, but it's minus 165. So what's the point? Let's see. Most significant strikes, minus 325. Yip-de fucking do. Yeah. Most takedowns, Luciano, plus 250. She's a striker. She ain't going for no takedowns, bro. Spread on Luciano, minus 105. I mean, I could see a 30-27, but is it really worth it, though? No, not really. Not really. Damn. I was hoping that Oliveira was going to look trash on the scale so I can tell you guys, let's go inside distance. But she looked really good. Like, Luciano is a dangerous striker, but it's more volume with technicality than it is power. She's just not like a dangerous, dangerous power threat. She has some power, but I don't know with Oliveira. I mean, if you want to go Luciano by KO, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to believe in the more experienced UFC girl. I'm going to think Oliveira maybe starts slow and Luciano can keep her off of her and then land good straights. The thing is, I could see Oliveira tying up. I don't want to say stalling, but she could, clinch up, hold a little bit, maybe try for some trips. Luciano fights out. We're back to striking from range. We're in the big cage, though. Fuck it, man. That Luciano KO at plus 550, it ain't worth throwing serious heat, but just, a worthwhile mention of a maybe she gets it done inside of the distance. It's just Oliveira looks so good on the scale. Saying that with confidence, I can't. And I have to be real with you guys. I can't say it with confidence. But I was coming into today thinking, okay, Oliveira probably has a rough weight cut, looks like shit on the scale, and then I can hype up this Luciano ITD, and that might be it. But now I don't feel good about it. But the pick is Luciano. And it should be dominant, even if it's a decision. Next fight, we got Kyle Prepolec versus Drew Dober. The bout order is scrambled on Tapology versus what it is with the UFC. Just something to know. This is actually the feature prelim. I just realized that now. But it's what it is. Feature prelim. We'll talk about it now. Looking at Kyle Prepolec and Drew Dober at the weigh-in, what I saw is Drew Dober had the aura back on his side. Drew Dober had that confidence back on his side. You could feel Drew Dober was ready to go out and work. Like, I could sense it. I'm like, okay, this is a Drew Dober coming into this fight in the best shape possible. A Drew Dober that seems, I'd say, mentally locked in. Physically, he looked as good as he's ever looked. And Kyle Prepolec, I'm telling you, he's like a goofy, worse version of Drew Dober. I said he's Drew Dober with less growth hormone in the system. I think Drew Dober's going to be able to catch Prepolec with some big shots. And I know Prepolec's never been chinned, but he's never fought Drew Dober. He's never fought somebody that's all that high level, He hasn't fought at that level of oomph, He's fought, he fought BSD and got dominated. So, but he got destroyed. But I'm saying outside, like, he's 0-3. Yeah, he's never been KO'd, but has he fought a Drew Dober power hitter? Or Dober sits on his punch as well? I think Drew Dober can find some heavy shots on Prepolec. Prepolec's a little hittable. The way he rips his hooks at times, like the head's there to be hit. And I don't know, it looks a little awkward, a little herky-jerky. There's herky-jerky in a good way and then in a bad way. I feel like his is kind of in a bad way. He'll like duck through and rip power shots, and I can see Dober countering that. I think that we're going to see Dober get a comeback win, and I think he's going to get a KO here. This is a matchup that really favors him. It's a 36-year-old guy who's been a journeyman his whole career versus a 36-year-old who's been a UFC gatekeeper his whole career. At points, a journeyman, but at points, a contender on the come up. I think Drew Dober can handle business here. I don't see Prepolec knocking him out. Of course, he could wing a huge left hook, and if it lands on the chin, well, fuck, I'm wrong. But odds are, Dober minds his P's and Q's pretty well, and he should be able to get to Prepolec. If you look at Dober's losses recently, okay, the Frevola one a while back was bad. I felt like that was kind of a fluky punch, but whatever, it was bad. Rick Glenn KO was nice. Moicano won a decision, but he was cracking Moicano a bit. Went, long into the third with Gene Silva, doctor stoppage. Then Manuel Torres knocks him out. But Manuel Torres is a fucking monster. Kyle Prepolec is nowhere near a monster of any of these guys. Honestly, I think that all of the most recent guys who Dober has lost to beat up a Kyle Prepolec. So it's not like Dober has lost to some complete scrub where it's like, it's over now. Okay, Manuel Torres, John Silva, and Moicano in your last 3 losses. And Ricky Glenn, the guy he beat, reminds me of Prepolec. So I think that we could see a Dober KO in this one. And he could be the first guy to put the lights out for the side of, Prepolec. So let's keep running. Let's look through it. All right, we got Prepolec looking shredded on the scale. Give credit where it's due. Give credit where it's due. Prepolec looked good. And then Drew Dober looked shredded as hell here. Drew Dober looked ready to go here. Both guys are in shape. I don't want to just oversell one side over the other. But listen, Drew Dober's ready, man. Drew Dober's ready to go. I don't care what anybody has to say. There's the face-off. You can see, like, there was a confident aura from Dober. He's like, all right, this is a matchup I like. Dober loves these type of fights. Give me a guy who just sit there and bang. I can find the target. He ain't gonna knock me out. Come on, bro. This is a fight that Dober shines in again. I think Dober gets back on track. I don't know about Dober making any type of late career run to the top or anything of that magnitude. It's not going to happen. To be real, it's not going to happen. But come on now. Dober's a minus 370. I mean, it's better than it was at certain points throughout the week. It was minus 550. There was a lot of love. Chat was going crazy about Prepolec by KO, but I think that's a D-gen chase. I think Dober wins the fight. I think this fight goes under 2.5. I think Dober is very live to knock him out. If he had to, he could win a decision at plus 215. KO just makes more sense because Dober's style is simply put violence first. Dober, most significant strikes, minus 200. Yeah. If the spread is flipped here, but if the spread on Dober minus 3.5 is plus 170 for him to dominate this fight, that doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know if that's true. You guys can check it out on your local books. But if Dober is plus 170 from minus 3.5, that covers knockout, that covers inside distance, and a 30-27. And, you know, obviously there could be two 29-28s too, but if he gets at least one 30-27, that's weird, right? That doesn't seem real. I have to, you know, triple check that after the show, but might be something to consider, right? Plus 170. It's throwing me off. The bout order got scrambled. The bout order got completely scrambled, bro. Shout out to UFC for deciding, hey, we're going to change the bout order. And then me here, you know, trying to run through it properly. And now I'm doing featured prelim. They literally totally changed it. The bout order was, this was supposed to be fourth fight on the card. Now we got featured. What are they doing to us, man? Changing the bout order. It is what it is. Let's keep running up the card. Next fight on it. We got Danny Barlow versus Djorden Santos. My pick is Danny Barlow, and my confidence rose after the weigh-ins. I've been calling him all week. And I felt like at weigh-ins, he looked like a legit middleweight. He filled out the frame well. Confidence looked high. I think that maybe a little extra weight on him is going to add to that power, and he's still going to have some hand speed. In the UFC, we haven't seen necessarily the same oomph that we saw from Barlow throughout, you know, the regional scene and contender series, but he's a really dangerous puncher. Danny Barlow's powerful. And like the Djorden Santos, his striking is all right. It's kind of that Brazilian Muay Thai set, very square, very hittable down the center. Like you can find straight shots on that damn chin. And I feel as though we're going to see the side of Santos get clipped here. I think Barlow's going to have a big strike speed advantage. He's going to have a nice reach advantage. He's definitely got a power advantage. Santos's game plan is going to be probably pressure, smother, and maybe even try to grapple Barlow. I think Barlow can defend the grappling. I think Barlow is going to catch Santos with a big straight shot. If he loses this fight, my God, what a tragic downfall, because Barlow had hype. Sam Patterson knocking you out, though, and catching you with a weird punch at a different weight class, too. Like, we saw Patterson knocked out in the first round by, Ashmoos, and then goes up, and he looks amazing at 170. He's on a roll right now, 4 in a row. Danny Barlow was, looking like a good prospect for a bit. And the Vera fight was mediocre, but he did break his hand. And then Patterson KOs him in round 1. It's like, oh, maybe he's not it. Going up to 85 might be the best decision for him. And I think Barlow can knock off some of these lower ranked guys in the middleweight division. And I think Santos is one of the worst middleweights on the roster. Lost to Ozzy Diaz in a close fight last time out. I really don't have too many positive elements of the Djorden Santos. I was not hype on him coming into contender. Ends up, winning as an underdog, pulls it off against it was Will Curry. I was going to say, it was like Kiefer Curry. Will Curry pulled off. Curry was supposed to be a good prospect. He used a lot of cage pressure. His Muay Thai is decent, but I think that Danny Barlow's better than this, man. Barlow can get past the Djorden Santos. I'm going to go Barlow, and I'm going to say Barlow's live to chin him too. There's the Djorden Santos weighing in. Looks all right on the scale. And Barlow, he looks like a legit middleweight. I was excited to see today because I was like, all right, on the scale, we kind of get a tell-all. We'll know where everything really is at as far as the weigh-in and things like that. And you see the face-off between the two. Barlow a little bit taller. There doesn't seem to be any size advantage for the Djorden Santos. I think Barlow was cutting a fair amount of weight down to 170. I think Santos could probably do the same thing and, would have mixed results. he doesn't have a lot of skill. He reminds me of like a 2010s mediocre Brazilian middleweight, you know, that a guy that like fights in the UFC 1 or 2 times, then gets cut. I think Danny Barlow's got some upside. Nasty power on that straight left, hand speed, good range. Danny Barlow should handle. I'm going Barlow and I'm going KO here. He's a minus 255 favorite. The odds are not as crazy as they once were. I mean, the odds were minus 300, but there's a lot of love. Santos late has brought the line a little closer, minus 255 now. A lot less ugly. A lot less ugly than 3-1. I think Barlow, after weigh-in, I feel like he's got a pretty good shot to win this one. I picked Sam Patterson against Danny Barlow in that fight as a big underdog. On the money there. That doesn't mean I'm going to fade him here. Nah, he'll win. I think he's live for a finish. If Santos did win, it's probably a decision. I'm going to say Barlow KO. It's plus 125. Speed advantage is going to really be a telltale, and I think it's going to be big. Barlow round 1 KO plus 385. Not a terrible idea. Barlow could definitely stop Santos in round number 1. Could it end up going longer? Sure. And then you're like, oh, why did I do that? Still. Spread on Barlow, minus 175. Not a surprise there. I think he gets the finish. I like Barlow. I think KO makes the most sense. It's plus money for a KO. It's big plus money for a first round KO. I feel like Danny Barlow's live to finish this thing. I do think knockout throughout the entire fight is live, but I think a first round KO makes sense. I think the Jourdain Santos is going to look like a scrub here. Like, I think it's finally going to happen. I've been feeling like he's a bum since the fucking Contender Series. I'm like, this guy is not good. And then he goes in the UFC. All right, Ozzy Diaz and him close fight. But Ozzy Diaz is towards the back end. And now he fights a good athlete with long reach and a big straight. I'm going to say Danny Barlow puts the lights out of Santos. That first round, plus 385, I'm going to say it hits. I'm going to say savage mode. Danny Barlow, first round KO here. Next fight on the card, we got Bruno Silva versus Hyun Park. I really feel that Hyun Park is going to pull off a performance that makes you say, okay, this guy's actually got some skill. Now, the South Koreans right now, the durability is not great, all right? They kind of got like glass slippers. Now, granted, you know, big shots have landed on their chins, but we've seen 2 South Koreans violently knocked out. Ju Sang-yu and then Hwan on Contender Series Tuesday. I feel like Park can pull through against an aging Bruno Silva. It's a Bruno Silva who's lost 2 in a row. Bruno Silva that even in his most recent win against Cody Djorden was losing the fight. He was getting outboxed by Djorden. I feel like Hyun Park can strike with Bruno and can find success. I think Park can wrestle with Bruno and find his way to top position. He's got a size advantage, which I like. You'll see it when they face off in a second. Hyun Park should be faster. He should be better at wrestling. And I think more likely to be the guy that lands something big and gets a stoppage. Like, yes, Tainara dropped him and then destroyed him, but Tatsuro Tainara is top level. He's fighting Brandon Moreno, and he's like really 1 fight away from being a, you know, title shot. And Park took that fight. Granted, it was like not super short notice. He was supposed to fight the next week against Steve Erceg, but it goes from you're fighting, you know, a decent guy in Steve Erceg to you're fighting like Japan's next big thing in Tatsuro Tainara. It didn't go well. He took a big chance. And I said after that fight, I'd like to see him get a Bruno Silva fight. I think he can win that one. And I feel good about Park beating Bruno Silva here. Whether it's a decision or he finds a way to a stoppage, I think Park's going to showcase some good hands in this fight, mix in some good takedowns, find some big moments against Bruno Silva. And I think Park should handle business here. Silva's aging. He's hittable down the center. Reflexes seem to be a little slower. I like the chances of a Park dub. There's Bruno Silva weighing in. There he is. Got that Ultimate Fighter tattoo on him from back in the day. Look at him. What a savage. Hyun Park looks decent on the scale. He gives me the villain from Karate Kid vibes. I understand. You know, he wasn't a South Korean, but still, the vibe is still the same. It's just vibes. And let's look at the face-off between the two. You see the size difference? Park a little taller. I will say, though, man, looking at him from the side, that fragility of these South Koreans as of late worries me. But then there's like, you know, Seok-Hyun Ko. And then there's guys that are pretty powerful. But there's guys from South Korea that are dangerous. I feel like Park should win. Younger at 29, coming into his prime with the upside. Speed advantage is there. Silva hasn't looked good in a minute, man. That Jourdain fight, he landed the shovel uppercut from last week. You understand? And it was a perfectly timed punch. But Jourdain was beating him up. Jourdain grappled him up. I think Park's going to beat him. I think Park could finish him. I'm going Park. I think he's live for a finish, too. Minus 230 for Park, plus 195 for Silva. I'm going to believe in Park. I think of the road to UFC talent, Park is pretty top tier. Over 2.5, minus 166. What's inside distance Park now looking like? Shit, plus 115. Park KO, plus 350. Park sub, plus 275. You know what? Park could pull it off later. Round 3 or decision, Park, plus 150. They're really getting us. Park most takedowns, minus 115. Yeah, he should land the most takedowns. He can take down. He could take down Bruno. If you don't keep him down, he can take him down. Spread on it. It's really like one of those situations where I think Park wins. Could he get a stoppage? Yes. But to be fair, the guys that have stopped Bruno Silva are top contenders. It's not like he's getting stopped by mediocre guys. Now, granted, the only guy to beat Park is a top contender too, right? I don't know. Inside distance is not crazy. I think Park could end up stopping him. I think you could take his back and strangle him or potentially rip some ground and pound. But I could see Silva with his back taken and surviving. I could see him getting rode a bit and surviving. I could see him losing striking exchanges, getting hurt a bit and surviving. It's not like Park has that same boxing level as Cobb or Van. So I don't know. Over 1.5 at minus 1 or 220. If it was minus 120, that'd be a fucking lock city, I think. But minus 220 is not crazy for an over 1.5. And I do think Park wins. I think Park can pull it off. I'm going to predict Park does more. Park, if he gets a finish, this is how I'm looking at it. If Park gets a finish, wow, keep your eye on Park. If he wins a decision, it's like, okay, Park's pretty decent. I do think he beats an aging Bruno Silva, though. Next fight on the card. This one's actually still a prelim fight, so we're going to do this one here. It's not the official feature prelim. They changed up the order on us. It's Dober and Prepolec, but we'll go Cody Gibson, Aoriqileng. I think that Cody Gibson wins. I think he can outwork Aoriqileng. I think he can out-wrestle Aoriqileng. He can out-grapple him. Aoriqileng is so intimidating. The Mongolian murderer, and he comes in with that fucking guard. Like, the way he walks forward, you're expecting like sick knockouts and crazy violence, but he just doesn't really have the same results as expectations. Some guys look like they got it, but then in reality, it's like, Cody Gibson, like, you know what you get. You can mix it up with the kickboxing. He's got quick straight shots that he'll use to engage in close range, tie up on the inside, good from clinch, good double unders, good trips against there, good back takes against there, long limbs. Can definitely push a wrestling pace in pretty good shape. Should be able to get close to Aoriqileng and then find ways on top. And if they're sitting there striking from range, it's not like Aoriqileng has this like earth-shattering punch power. He just doesn't, man. Aoriqileng, I don't want to say he's a slapper because, you know, he can rip some hooks, but it's just not, it lacks a little oomph. It lacks a little precision, and it lacks just, you know, that power. The Mongolian murderer nickname, I really was hype on Aoriqileng at one point. When he first came in, I remember the hype factor of him. When he was supposed to fight Jeff Molina, it's like, bro, he's going to whoop him. Then he loses. He's not going to beat Cody Gibson, man. I'm going with Cody Gibson. I think he's able to outwork him. I think Cody Gibson wins. Let's get the weigh-ins for these two. There's Aoriqileng weighing in, looking, you know, like Aoriqileng does on the scale, decent. Cody Gibson looks in real good shape. Cody Gibson's fit, man. Cody Gibson's coming ready. I think Cody Gibson is ready. And then let's look at the face-off between the two of them. I will say Aoriqileng's size was surprising. Like, he matches the height of Gibson when they faced off. Gibson got that older face, though. When you look at him from the side, bro, if you just cover the hair, he'll be 50 years old. My God. I think Cody Gibson wins. I'm still going Cody Gibson. I'm not pick flipping. The skills of Aoriqileng just can't pay the bills. The intimidation is there, and I'm getting intimidated. When I see him, I'm like, yo. When you see him, you're like, Aoriqileng, shit. But the reality is he just doesn't have something. He's missing a link. The missing link that Aoriqileng, the Mongolian murderer, should have versus what he really brings. Plus 165 Aoriqi, minus 190 Gibson. I could see Gibson outworking him, winning the wrestling battle. Aoriqileng throwing up elbows from bottom, losing a close decision. Over 2.5, minus 180. You know what I'll say, though? It's not crazy if you think Aoriqileng's going to go long to go with the spread. Minus 150 for Aoriqileng on the spread. Gambling-wise, moneyline Gibson, moneyline Aoriqileng, or spread, I kind of just think, I think 29-28 is not crazy. He could make it competitive. I do worry he gets grapple fucked. Gibson over 1.5 takedowns. I'm going to say yes. That's minus 175. Over 51.5 significant strikes. Risky territory. Let's see here. Anything catching my eye? Gibson by sub 5-1. It's Djorden. It's not a guarantee to happen, but like if you're looking for a sprinkle prop, I think Gibson could submit him. Gibson does have submission threats, but if he goes out and wins a decision, I'm not shocked. But it's plus 130. You're not crazy about betting that. If Aoriqileng wins, as much as he looks like a knockout hitter, it's probably a decision. So this fight very well might be going over 2.5 at minus 180. It could be back and forth, but I think Gibson wins the wrestling battle, ends up in top position more often than not. At some point, I think he gets to a dominant position and is live to submit Aoriqileng, but historically, Aoriqileng has been hard to finish. 3 losses by submission, 1 by KO. But inside of the UFC, the only finished loss was against Aiemann Zahabi, big shot knockout. Granted, outside of Raul Rosas Jr., Cody Djorden is a flyweight who, he fought him at flyweight and lost to. Jeff Molina. Gibson's definitely in it for a sub. It's not crazy. 5 sub wins is a pro, but then it's like 5 sub losses ugly. But he does have good ground game. This is ugly. He got so many sub losses, but Gibson's got a ground game. I think Gibson wins, but he could just outwork him to a decision. So over 2.5 might honestly make sense between the two of them. But like Djorden, Gibson by sub type of situation, Let's get to the next fight on the card. This is our main card opener. We got Kyle Nelson versus Matt Frevola. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe it up. I'm going with the steamroller Frevola to find a way. Matt Frevola has power in both hands. He's definitely aggressive, decent wrestling game, willing to brawl. And like Kyle Nelson is kind of a contrarian to him. Kyle Nelson is low kicks, movement, high guard, technical straight shots, picking his strikes well, timing takedowns, and winning in more of a, technical manner. Kyle Nelson is definitely more of a technical fighter, whereas Matt Frevola is a lot more of an in-your-face, high-pressure brawler. Now, Kyle Nelson got a takedown early against Steve Garcia, but then ended up getting melted and beaten the fuck up with ground and pound. Granted, it was at 145. This fight's at 55. Maybe his durability's better. Frevola is going to be fast starting. And if he lands some big shots, I can see him ending up in a dominant position. I can see him having some dominant moments in the fight. But I will say, Kyle Nelson's striking chops are not bad. Kickboxed up Fernando Padilla. His wins are not like blow you off the fucking golf, but he knocked out Bill Aljo. I picked him as an underdog there. Like builder decisions, whatever. The draw with Duho Choi should have been a loss. It's like Frevola had this amazing moment with Drew Dober, and then BSD destroyed him. And then a year ago, Fares Ziam violently chinned him. But he did get in mount, and like he gave Ziam a bit of a fight. I think Frevola can end up finding a way, but it's not like I'd say go bet on Frevola. I don't think that's a great idea, because he's willing to absorb damage to land damage. And though Kyle Nelson is not necessarily a power hitter, seeing Frevola chinned in 2 straight fights, not a great look. And like Kyle Nelson's loss is to Steve Garcia. Steve Garcia is fucking terrifying. I think that the side of Frevola can win a scrappy back and forth fight and potentially stop a Kyle Nelson who, I don't know. I don't want to say where's his motivations lie, because obviously Matt Frevola on the other side has lost 2 in a row by KO as well. But against like good lightweights, Fares Ziam's close to top 15. He's probably top 20. BSD is top 15. Nelson coming off a bad loss to a top-ranked featherweight. Now going up in weight. But, Nelson has never been spectacular at 55. If Nelson can keep it technical and not, get caught up in a brawl, I do think he can win. But I feel like Frevola can club him with a power shot. I'm going to say Matt Frevola finds a way to get the knockout here. Let's check these two out on the scale. There's Matt Frevola weighing in, looking ripped up, in fantastic shape, and looks ready to go. On the opposite side, we got Kyle Nelson. The mustache is in, the beard is out. Looks all right. He probably wanted to, change something up. New look. He's got a baby on the way. His wife was actually with him, the face-offs, which I thought was interesting. And then there's the face-off between the two of them. Good face-off. Energy was there. I mean, both guys seem confident. I do feel like, it's kind of anybody's scrap. It's USA versus Canada. I'm going USA. And Frevola's fighting out of, Tampa, Florida. I'm going to back him. Man. And maybe if he wins, we get the Frevola training session 2026. Okay? I'm going to pick Frevola to find a way to win. I'm going to go with him. I think he can do it. Matt Frevola is minus 120. Kyle Nelson is plus 100. Let's see. Over 2.5 is plus 145. The way that Frevola fights is such a violence-first style, but it's not like he's never gone the distance before. I mean, it was 3 knockouts in a row, but he's gone distance. I know that the chat really liked Nelson by knockout, so I'll mention it at plus 250. Frevola KO. I'm not really into the betting side of this one. Close money on the lines. It could go either way. Over 35.5 significant strikes. If it doesn't end in a KO early, yeah, but don't be surprised when Nelson takes him down. Nelson over half a takedown is plus 250. I mean, Nelson can wrestle a little bit. He can surprise you with the wrestling. Spread on Nelson, minus 150. Damn, that spread is not terrible if it's close. I don't know. With this, it's not like I don't know. I have a vision. I think Frevola could put pressure on Kyle Nelson, win some key striking exchanges, catch him with a clubbing shot, hurt him, and then finish him with ground and pound and silence the Canadian crowd. That's what I think could happen. But, is it necessarily worth going out and throwing capital on to try and generate some revenue? No. Maybe, but probably not. Because Nelson is defensively sound. If Nelson moving up to 55 looks better, he's still 3-1 over his last 4. There's still positives to take away. But I do think Frevola can find a way to dominant position, can have some big moments. And if Frevola can turn this into a dogfight, I think he wins it. But that's the key. He's got to have it a dogfight. If it's technical, kickboxing, I favor Nelson on the scorecards. Or even if it's wrestling, but hold in control, they get up, more kickboxing. You get what I'm saying? Next fight. Charles Jourdain versus Davey Grant. So I've been picking the side of Charles Air Jourdain to finally break through. All right. This is like every time. I think now he does it. He finally breaks through the protective layer. He gets to space, bro, through the fucking firmament or some shit. Like I'm Bryce Mitchell. I think he breaks through. Listen, I think that Davey Grant is good. I think that Davey Grant has dangerous stand-up, good leg kicks, underrated kicker. Heavy power in his overhand shots. Good everywhere. And I like Davey Grant. I pick him often. It's just, I think that it's Charles Jourdain's time now at 29. 10-year age disparity. Charles Jourdain's striking is fast. I was watching tape side by side, and I'm like, I think Jourdain gets to the target a good amount quicker and more often. And I think Jourdain's kickboxing matches up well with Davey Grant's kickboxing. Then when I think about the grappling, there's not a substantial wrestling threat from Grant. Not that there's a substantial wrestling threat on the opposite side, but there is a submission threat. If they're tied up in any type of like over-under position, if somehow Davey Grant gets under Jourdain or they're in the clinch, like I could see Jourdain jumping that ghillie. He said it himself. Jourdain has a very nasty ghillie. Davey Grant could fall victim to a ghillie from Charles Jourdain. His jiu-jitsu is really slick. Charles Jourdain's jiu-jitsu is nice. I like his jiu-jitsu a lot. I think that Charles Jourdain is going to pull this off. I like submission or decision. I think they could go 3 hard and Jourdain could pull it off in the scorecards, having big striking moments, closing the gap, winning the key striking exchanges, being the faster combination striker. I think he can land some dangerous low kicks, stay moving nicely. It's just, the caveat is Davey Grant, incredibly durable, never gives up on himself, always in your face, backing you up, throwing hard. And he's smart. Davey Grant's not a low IQ fighter. Neither is Charles Jourdain. And I think at 135, though, Jourdain has the physical tools to do something here. I'm going to say Jourdain lives up to the potential finally at 29 and gets past the king of all gatekeepers in Davey Grant here. And I'm going to say he's able to find a way to get that hand raised. Let's check him out on the scale. There is Charles Jourdain looking inked the hell up. He got the grays coming, a little salt and pepper look, or is that just the angle? Looks in shape, though, for sure. And Davey Grant looks fucking phenomenal. Davey Grant is one of a kind. Davey Grant is fucking one of a kind. All right? Then the face-off between the two of them. Good, proper face-off. Respect between both. We're in for a good fight. This is Charles Jourdain's chance to get past somebody that has sent back a lot of prospects. I think Jourdain's got the strike speed to do it and the sub-threat to do it. I'm going to say Jourdain takes this one home. I'm going to believe. Minus 175 for Jourdain. Plus 150 for Davey Grant. I'm believing in Charles Jourdain, guys. Looking towards some of the other lines here. Over minus 190. Jourdain submission. Plus 550. Plus 600. I mean, Jourdain is live to catch him in a sub. It's not crazy. Jourdain decision plus 160. I feel like Charles Jourdain might lock something up on Davey. Like, I can see Davey getting tapped by a ghillie. I like Jourdain's grappling game a lot here. Jourdain, most significant strikes, minus 200. Most takedowns, not crazy about either side. Spread on Grant, minus 150. I know a lot of you guys are going to love that. If you think it's going longer, you think Grant's in it, minus 150 spread. It's a solid idea. If you want to go D-Gen, big plus money on the sub. I do think that Charles Jourdain finds a way to win it. I'm looking towards anything else. Jourdain wins sub round 1, plus 1,200. Locks it up early while they're dry. It's so D-Gen, though. It's so degenerate. It's like the odds of it happening. It's possible. I'm just going to mention it. Not saying do it. Not saying do any of it. I'm just mentioning it. I think Jourdain can find the sub, though. It's submission or decision on the official call. I guess you can look. Submission or decision, then he ends up knocking out Davey Grant. What's submission or decision? Where's that line? Plus 105. I think Jourdain can pass the test. I'm going to say he gets it done. Striking should be able to match Davey. Jiu-jitsu exceeds Davey. And prime is what it's all about. And Jourdain now at 29, primed. Next fight on the card. The ladies going after it. Manon Fiorot versus Jasudavicius. I am picking Jasudavicius to find a way to wrestle up Manon Fiorot. And some folks have called me crazy, but I really think Jazz on this 5-fight win streak is a big factor. Jasudavicius' momentum is high as hell right now. Confidence through the roof. Fighting in Canada, and she's a crazy popular fighter in Canada. Fiorot coming off the championship loss where she, lost some wrestling battles with Valentina. Of course, Valentina is the GOAT of the damn women's flyweight division. I get it. I know. If Fiorot can keep it striking and fend off the wrestling and kickbox, she can win. But I think Jasudavicius is going to be able to walk her down and get to the clinch. And I think Jasudavicius has the takedown game to get on top. And I think if Jazzy is on top, I can see her kind of pinning Fiorot a bit and then working some shots from that top position, and Fiorot having a hard time getting up to her feet here. We'll find out a lot in the first round. I want to see how Jazz approaches it. I think just striking with Fiorot, of course, you go with the striker. But if Jazz can mix in takedowns, the striking can then be more effective. She can drive Fiorot backwards. She can then get close on the inside, drag her ass to the ground. I feel like Jasudavicius grappling is a factor in this fight. She's also a little bit bigger. At face-offs, you're going to say, oh, but they're the same height. You got to note something. There was sandals on Jazz, and there was the shoes on Fiorot. There's Jasudavicius, cheesing, looks ready to go. There's Fiorot on the other side. Looks like a damn, kind of like an Annabelle doll stare that she has there. Holy shit. I'm a little scared. Let's pull up the damn face-off. So you can see physicality-wise, right? Both girls look similar, frame-wise. Fiorot, looking about the same height. Without the shoes on, I think Jazz got an inch on her. Does have a reach advantage, too. I think if she can close that gap, and especially with Fiorot throwing some side kicks, like I can see her kicks getting caught. I can see Jazzy Jazz backing her up. And if she can put Fiorot on that back foot, get the takedown attack going, pin her up against the cage, drag her down from there, I can see Jasudavicius outworking her in a hard-fought 3-rounder. I'm going to go towards the wrestler. I'm going to go towards Jasudavicius to break into the top. She really seems to have hit her stride later at 36, and I'm going to say that her wrestling is going to be the ultimate difference maker. I'm going to believe that she can do it. Plus 185 for Jazzy Jazz, minus 220 for Manon Fiorot. Looking towards the over 2.5 rounds, minus 450. Jasudavicius decision sitting at plus 300. Jasudavicius submission at plus 1,000. Manon Fiorot's pro career has been one that she has never been finished in. Best grappler she fought, though, Erin Blanchfield, who is very good with jiu-jitsu. But looking at the size of Blanchfield, 5'4", she was shorter, right? Young at 24. Didn't have the same wrestling threat and size that Jasudavicius has. This could be the stylistic kryptonite matchup for Manon Fiorot, and I'm going to believe that it is. I'm going to say Jasmine Jasudavicius takes home a hard-fought win. I think decision obviously makes sense, but it's not impossible with Jazzy Jazz lately being Mrs. Submission over here. You look at her last few. Sub against Andrade, sub against Lipski da Silva, and then she got the sub against Couture. Granted, sucks on the ground, mediocre on the ground. Andrade sometimes sells in fights, but still made it look easy. I think Jazzy Jazz can do it with the wrestling. Even if it's a decision, obviously the better bet is just straight money line it. Why chase anything else when you got plus 185, nearly 2-to-1 money? But if you want to chase, you got, 10-to-1 odds on Jazzy Jazz to win by a submission. And then you could also, consider if you want to go the decision side, I think it's plus 300, but I was quickly double check to assure you guys. Yeah, plus 300 for Jazzy Jazz by a decision. I'm going to go Jazzy Jazz. I'm going to believe in Jasudavicius' wrestling. She can get past Manon Fiorot's kickboxing. She's got technicality in the striking, but she's not a big power hitter. That makes me think that Jasudavicius can back her up, put her on the back foot, pin her against the cage, take her ass down, and work from top. I'm going Jasudavicius for the upset. Next fight on the card, feature fight. Marlon Cheeto Vera versus Aiemann Zahabi. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be back and forth. I think the third round, Marlon Vera is going to look his best. I'm going to say Aiemann Zahabi can nab 2 out of the 3 rounds. The issue with Marlon Vera in 3-round fights is a lot of times he takes that first round off. And if he loses the first round, now he's already down 1 and he's only got 2 to go. He's got to turn up fast. Aiemann Zahabi has good boxing. He's a high output boxer. He rips his combinations decently, not like ripping it like Jack Della, but good little jab from the outside, mixes in some straight shots, keeps the head moving, can land some punches in combination and close. Grappling defense is there. Vera's the better kicker of the two. Can Vera land the perfect teep to the body, maybe stun Zahabi, and then land a big blitz of straight shots, find his way in the clinch, land some elbows? I think that Vera has to put some pressure on Zahabi, and he's got to hurt Zahabi. The issue with Marlon Vera is he lacks volume. There's big moments in some of his fights, and I allude to you, it's some. And then there's him losing a lot of the battles here, whereas, Zahabi can be more consistent over a 3-round with offensive aggressiveness. Zahabi would not be a lock here. Okay? I think Zahabi in a 29-28 close fight, especially in Canada. He got gifted a little bit of a decision against Aldo, but he did finish the fight on top, and Aldo was gassed. Got hurt bad, though, in round 3. He's a star in Canada. I'm not saying the Canadian judges are biased, but some home cooking has happened here before. And if Cheeto Vera loses the first round, competitive in the second, wins the third, I could easily see this fight going Zahabi on the judges' scorecards. And I favor Zahabi's side with the momentum in his favor, winning against Jose Aldo, winning against Pedro Munoz. The Basra fight was all right. Aoriqileng knockout was sick. Now we're digging way back. But, over the last year and a half, he's been pretty active. We ain't seen him, Cheeto Vera, since the Figgy loss. Granted, Figueiredo, top caliber. He lost worse than, Montel Jackson did. But styles make the fights. Fight before that, Sean O'Malley fight. He goes, fight. Should have never fought for the title. Beat Pedro Munoz on a decision. And then, Zahabi also then beat him, there afterwards. I think it's close. I think Zahabi a little bit better with boxing combinations and he throws more. I think Vera better with kicks, but it's like you want more. Vera leaves me wanting more. Come on, Vera. In a 5-round fight, I'll pick Vera. In a 3-round fight, I feel like Zahabi takes 2 out of the 3 rounds. It could be a split. I think it's live to go to a close decision. There's Chito Vera. Somebody said to me, bro, his eye looks off. His eye always looks off. Note that. We were talking about last week. I called Lucas Almeida's fucking hand. The chat and I talked about it pre-show with the live stream. And then we talked about it here on this show. This, Chito Vera's eye is always kind of looking. Then Aiemann Zahabi. His confidence is going through the roof. All right, Aiemann Zahabi. He looks in shape, though. Vera looked intense as hell at the face-off. And Vera seemed to have a lot of confidence. Vera's in his face here. Vera's looking into his soul. If it's a 5-round fight, I'm excited to pick Chito Vera. If it's a 5-round main event, I'm like, yeah, I like Chito. But in a 3-rounder, I just can't confidently say I think Chito Vera wins 2 out of 3 rounds. I think that he wins a round. I think he's really live to win a round. Him getting shut out and dominated by Zahabi, I'd be pretty impressed by Zahabi if he did that. It's just, I'm not confident Chito starts fast. He's not gonna. He probably won't. Evidence tells me he won't. Round 2 could be close. Round 3, he can win, but still competitive. Okay, maybe Zahabi slows a bit, but his cardio is pretty good. And then, okay, some round 3 shots. And then Vera, does he not go for it? You know, you can find yourself frustrated with Chito Vera often in 3-round fights especially. I like him in 5-round fights. Marlon Vera's plus 115, Zahabi's minus 135. I would not bet Aiemann Zahabi's money line with high confidence. I do think this fight goes over 2.5, minus 330 for the over 2.5 rounds. And then looking towards anything else, Zahabi decision plus 105. Zahabi by split decision is plus 700. This fight is live to end in split decision in itself. If you think the fight ends in a split decision, which, you know, it definitely could, plus 350 here, especially in Canada. Vera round 3 or decision plus 225, just to play the contrarian. Vera round 3 or decision at plus 225 is not crazy because I could see him putting it on 3rd round, land some big shots. We saw Aldo have big moments in round 3. Maybe Vera follows suit. We got Vera not fighting for a while, and he's a slow starter, though. It's just like so many things I don't like. Over 71.5 or over 59.5. I don't love the significant strike totals. It's definitely not a minus 3.5 Vera spread. They got to flip. So Vera plus 3.5 is going to be minus 250. Zahabi minus 3.5 is plus 185. They got it covered. They think they're telling you, listen, it's 50-50. The books are not confident on either side. Vera is a live underdog. I'm not going to push some delusional narrative that he's got no chance here. It's just, what the hell, Vera? He doesn't show up in round 1. I'll tell you this much. As a fan, I'm rooting for Chito Vera. And as I'm talking about the fight, I got an inkling inside that Chito Vera is live to pull this one off. Like, as I'm sitting here talking about the fight, and I'm thinking about the matchup, I'm thinking about Vera's kicks, and I'm imagining nasty teeps to the body, big body knee. He maybe hurts Zahabi, puts him on the back foot a bit, lands some elbows. It's just Vera is so unreliable, man. It's just because even if it happens, it happens in round 3, but he lost 1 and 2 and it's over. I don't like Vera in 3-round fights. In a 5-rounder, Marlon Vera wins. If you gave these guys unlimited time, Vera's the better fighter. So take with that as you wish. Are you thinking then Vera at plus 115 if you want to risk it? If you need a bet that's plus money, I get why you go Vera. But we're in Canada where hometown cooking is a problem. And I got Zahabi. I got to pick him. And I think we're going long. I think over 2.5 is a lock. I think fight's live to end in a split decision. I think Zahabi can end up getting that split decision. The Vera spread is very live. It's a competitive back and forth fight. The Vera round 3 or decision at plus 225 is nice. Betting side, I like that. I feel like a 53% to 47% type confidence here. I'm not, wow, Aiemann Zahabi. I'm agree. I think the odds make sense why they're so close. If I'm telling you, if it was a 5-round fight, I have no problem picking Chito Vera. A year off, I just can't do it. I can't. I'm like almost tempted. I'm like, do I want to pick flip? But it's Zahabi look great on this scale too. What am I going to say? Oh, but he's 37. He still finished all the fights strong after getting rocked. I'm picking Zahabi. I wouldn't be mad if I was wrong here though, but I'm picking Zahabi. Co-main event. Kevin Holland versus Mike Malott. I'm going with Kevin Holland. I'm going with Kevin Holland. I don't think Mike Malott's ready for this level. I don't think Mike Malott's ready for Kevin Holland's striking. Big reach advantage, hand speed advantage, better boxing, well-rounded. I get it. The D-Rod fight is in everybody's mind. I promise you, Kevin Holland had a terrible fight. He didn't show up himself, and he has those moments a lot. I get it. D-Rod should have never beat him. I feel like I'd still pick Kevin Holland if they're rematched. I think Kevin Holland can crack Mike Malott on the feet with some good shots. I think if they tie up, he defends the takedowns of Mike Malott. I think if Mike Malott's shooting on him, Kevin Holland threatening with that Darce, I really think that Kevin Holland beats Mike Malott here. I like his chances. I really do. Mike Malott's stand-up is good. He's got some power, but he's a bit basic. I feel like he can get caught with straights. Has big right hand, but he's not going to land it on Holland, I don't think. Then, again, D-Rod did. But D-Rod's awkward as shit, and he's got a lot of fights. Mike Malott, I don't see him with the wrestling edge. I don't see him with the physicality edge. I see Holland with the athleticism advantage. I see Holland as the sharper puncher. I see Holland as the better striker from distance. I see Holland with the higher probability of submission. I think Kevin Holland's winning here. I'm going Kevin Holland to take this one home. I'm going to believe that Holland can pull this off against Canada's prospect here. Look at the scales. Mike Malott looked okay. I know some people were saying he looked a little sick on the scale. I thought he looked all right. And there's Kevin Holland. He looked real good on the scale, in shape. Hopefully not some type of weird issue going on. Listen, just when you lose faith in Kevin Holland is when he proves you wrong. Time and time again. There's the face-off. Why is it that Mike Malott really looks like a fucking goblin, bro? It looks like a damn Halloween Town goblin, bro. You seen that fucking Disney movie? Holy shit. Looks like that fucking Luke character from it. I'm telling you, it's him. Kevin Holland ain't losing to no goblin, bro. I'm telling you. Kevin Holland is going to have a big advantage in strike speed, and he's going to start finding shots on Mike Malott. I think Mike Malott's going to get ripped up with some punches. I can see Mike Malott broken and knocked out here. Say what you want about the D-Rod fight. Holland didn't quit. He lost. He got outdogged. But he went 3 hard and he never wilted. At 170, Kevin Holland does not break. I think Kevin Holland's pulling this one out. I like his chances. I think he's beating Mike Malott here. I think we got a Kevin Holland that shows up. Kevin Holland shows up about, 70% of the time, maybe 50, 65. I'm going to say he finds a way. Even money down the center. I'm going with Holland. The lines have been flip-floppy. So straight down the center, Holland. I like the confidence. He's plus 105. The line just flipped. Give me the underdog. I like Kevin Holland as a dog here. I'll tell you, if he was plus money, I was thinking about dog locking him like a savage. But it was minus 105. I felt, nah, that's not it. I think Holland can do it. Fight's expected to go under. What's Holland inside the distance? Plus 185. Holland KO plus 350. Holland by sub is plus 525. I can see Holland finishing Mike Malott. I could see him knocking him out, but I could see him subbing him too. I think club and sub is live here. Plus 525. It's a wide line, but it's not a crazy result. Holland most significant strikes at minus 125 is favored, which is interesting because he's the underdog. Does he land more than 37? Depends how long we go. Malott land a takedown. Holland's takedown defense is good at 170 pounds. Spread on Holland minus 165. I think Holland wins as an underdog. I like Kevin Holland, guys. I think he pulls through in this one. I think he's going to clip Mike Malott with some big punches on the feet. I think if they tie up on the ground, Holland's jiu-jitsu comes through. I don't think Mike Malott's that guy. I think Mike Malott's decent, but I think Kevin Holland, when he's on, is a level above the Mike Malott level. And I think he's about to show out for us and prove to everybody that D-Raw fight was one of those weird one-offs. Was off. They said he was sick and shit like that. But regardless, maybe D-Rod got in his head, the Mexican gangster, and then overlooking him, thinking it's going to be an easy fight, and then D-Rod doesn't stop. I think he respects what Mike Malott can do, and I think coming in with respect for him is the way to win. I'm going Kevin Holland for the W. I think he's a good underdog. I'm picking him. We're going Holland for the dubs. Main event of the evening. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe it up. We got Reinier de Ridder versus Brendan Allen. I'm all over Reinier de Ridder's side, okay? I think Reinier de Ridder is going to finish him. De Ridder is the better grappler, for sure. And a lot of the time throughout Allen's UFC career, he's a better grappler. He's got really good jiu-jitsu, but De Ridder has high-level BJJ. De Ridder is a physical specimen, 6'4", big middleweight. Easily could be a light heavyweight. Has fought at light heavyweight. He's one championship light heavyweight champ. De Ridder, to me, is a big problem for Brendan Allen on the ground. You see De Ridder on top, I think Allen might be in serious trouble here. I see Allen with the athletic tools to make it interesting in round number 1. Striking is there, takedown defense, could catch De Ridder with some punches. But as the fight wears on, I do think De Ridder's physicality gets the best of Brendan Allen. I expect De Ridder to land some awkward exchanges, nasty body knee with some clubbing shots over the top. I can see him hurting Brendan Allen and then dragging Brendan Allen to the ground. I see De Ridder live to hit some trips on the inside. I think we can see De Ridder taking the back of Brendan Allen and strangling him or getting on top, throwing some ground and pound. I see rear naked choke for De Ridder at some point. Allen's athleticism is good. If they're just kickboxing, Allen's got the speed to make it a fight. But De Ridder seems to have that just awkward stand-up, like the Duplessis thing, different, obviously, where he just walks through shit and then lands big shots. He still hurt Rob Whittaker in their fight. People forget about that because it's him getting dropped bad with the overhand right and then recovering. But he had Whittaker hurt too. De Ridder's got some underrated punching power. And his big body knees, I can see him clubbing Brendan Allen with, wearing him down in the clinch, slowly but surely, breaking him down. At some point, I think Brendan Allen's getting wilted here. I think he's going to get beaten on the ground, and then I think he's eventually going to get choked out. I'm going Reinier De Ridder by submission. I don't think Allen can match the jiu-jitsu. I don't think Allen can keep De Ridder off of him. It's not just going to be kickboxing from range. De Ridder is going to look to clash. He's going to look to close that gap, and he's going to look to throw some crazy shit. Big knees to the body, looping shots over the top, tying up, working the clinch, taking your ass to the ground. And Brendan Allen on the other side, I think is going to struggle to deal with the guy that is better at the grappling element than him. We saw it with Fluffy. Fluffy does have very good jiu-jitsu, and he, beat Rodolfo Vieira, a jiu-jitsu champ, by sub. But De Ridder doesn't just have high-level jiu-jitsu. He has size. So I have a really big middleweight in De Ridder, and I have the jiu-jitsu advantage over Allen. Those are elements that I just think are too much of a high mountain to overcome and climb for a Brendan Allen. I think De Ridder finds a way to finish him. I'm going to say De Ridder gets it inside distance, and I think he's going to submit Brendan Allen here. I think like maybe 3rd round, 4th round. Could be earlier. I mean, shit, Charles Oliveira subbed up Gamrot in 2, no problem. He was my pick to pull it off inside distance. Last card. Again, I got a main event inside distance call. Brendan Allen on the scale. Looked decent on the scale. Did have to cut a good amount of weight. Obviously, took this fight on short notice. But, looked in shape. Looked pretty good. I think he's going to eventually break, though. The body knees are going to be a factor. De Ridder cuts a lot of weight. He's a really big middleweight. I think he looks solid. Some people were, speculating, oh, he didn't look that good on the scale. Nah, he looked like De Ridder normally does. Trying to go Neo in the Matrix on our asses here. Then there's the face-off between the two of them. I got a few different angles of it. De Ridder, a little bit larger. Allen doesn't really look undersized, but I think De Ridder's got that physicality edge, little physical strength advantage. Able to put it on him, stay after it, break him down. Allen going to be trying to box with him and rip some fast punches, and then he might try to take De Ridder down. I think he's definitely going to be met with a cinder block of a man defensively in the grappling. Then I think tied up in the clinch with De Ridder, he's losing that battle 9 times out of 10. And I think De Ridder working his body a bit, kind of like he did with Bo Nickel, wearing down that gas tank of Allen. And then he'll start finding more shots on the feet. And he's going to slowly but surely break him down, and he's going to choke him out. I'm going Reinier De Ridder by submission. After breaking Brendan Allen down, he should find the kill with the stranglehold. So we're going with De Ridder as the favorite, minus 220. I think he's a lock here, plus 185 for the side of Brendan Allen. Obviously, minus 220 is not the excitement of the betting side. Oh my God, minus 220. I don't know why I keep clicking away. But we got to find some magic, okay? De Ridder wins inside distance. I feel good about minus 115, plus 100 range. I say he's getting a finish. I strongly lean towards the sub side, but it wouldn't be crazy like if he did get a TKO, he rocks Brendan Allen, he pounds him out to showcase that he can knock people out too. The KO side, bigger plus money, plus 375. Inside distance will have you covered there. Submission makes more sense to me. I'm going to predict submission. That's around plus 200 to plus 225. I think the likelihood is high that we see a submission win for the side of Reinier De Ridder over Brendan Allen. Now, what round does he finish it in? I feel like De Ridder could get to him around the 3rd round. De Ridder round 3 plus 800. 2nd round would be highly impressive, but I do think Allen could survive a little longer. 3rd round is there, but, the 2nd round wouldn't blow my mind is where I'm going with this. The Ritter wins by sub round 3 plus 1200. The Ritter wins sub round 2 plus 950. Kind of feeling the penultimate round is, where the violence happens. And then let's look towards round 3 for the Ritter plus 475. Not crazy. The Ritter most significant strikes. I think so. The Ritter most takedowns. Yeah. Over in strikes. Not crazy about it. Over in takedowns. I mean, probably. What's that line too? Minus 150. Spread is, oh my God. Spread is wide. Minus 9.5, minus 120. I don't know. I just don't really fuck with the spread. I think the Ritter to win straight on the money line, parlayed up with like Azamat Bekoev is savage mode. I think the Ritter to win inside distance is very likely. I think the Ritter by sub is there for sure. I think picking, third round sub the Ritter is ballsy as fuck, or like fourth round sub the Ritter is ballsy as fuck, plus 1600, plus 1200, second round plus 950. I think with, 2 to 4 are the rounds I see it in. 3 makes sense. 3 to 4 seem more live, but it could be second. I think he'll wear Brendan Allen down a bit first before finishing him off. I'm going Renier the Ritter to take it home, and I'm going win by submission. I think he strangles Brendan Allen, and now he's in the running for a damn title fight. Is he going to jump the line over Nasruddin Imavov? Hype-wise, I could see it, but Imavov's resume is bulletproof. It's like you got to, based on resumes, if we're doing who's most deserving, you got to give it to Imavov. But the hype on the Ritter coming in from 1, going on a tear, and then beating Brendan Allen, especially by a finish, going to be hard to deny him too. We'll see what the UFC decides. But I know Saturday, what I feel right about is the Ritter inside the distance, gets the finish, wins by submission, sends Brendan Allen packing this wannabe Canadian. I will say it's crazy Brendan Allen's only 29. I feel like he's been around forever. Still, primed as fuck. And definitely a threat in, the top 15. But I think the Ritter's time is now. And I'm going to predict that he beats Brendan Allen by finish here in the main event. Those are my predictions for this UFC Vancouver card. Now, we're not done yet. I want to talk about some parlays that have a little discussion. All right? The Ritter and Bekoev Lock City plus 105. I got some Djorden shit at the bottom. The lotto ticket. The worry there is Bekoev ends up starching him. Right? The Ritter, Holland, Jasudavicius. You got big balls plus 791. I like the doggy style. I think it's really live. I think the Ritter inside distance, Bekoev, Park, Holland, and the over 2.5 Vera Zahabi live at plus 955. I think the Ritter, Bekoev, Holland, Jasudavicius plus 1115 live as hell as Djorden shit goes. But I do want to do a little post weigh-in look, a little post weigh-in talk about what I saw. I will tell you, I think there is a high probability of success for Danny Barlow. I think that he should go out and win. Obviously, you guys know I like the Ritter. I'm confident in Holland after those weigh-ins. And I think that Azamat Bekoev goes out and win. A little sneaky alternate 4-leg. And then if you believe in Croden, you put the 5 in for plus 846. Okay? Little alternate. But I want to talk about degenerate shit only. All right? Danny Barlow to win via knockout. Plus 135. Renier the Ritter to win via submission. Where's our boy the Ritter by sub? Plus 230. Something's telling me Luciano on the cards. Luciano to win via decision. Okay? We're going for the ladies fight. We got plus 1218 for those 3 together. I know some folks like the cycles. Now, I like mixing it differently, but I want to list that off for you guys. Something to give. All right, Barlow, what if you went ballsy as fuck? This is Djorden. Djorden only. Barlow, first round KO, plus 360. Jourdain to win via submission. Okay? Where's Jourdain by sub? Plus 800. That's plus 4,000. Right? The Ritter to win. And you went inside the distance. Okay? Plus 8,000. Kevin Holland to pull it off. Plus 17,281. 4 results that I don't see are crazy. Of course, Jourdain to win by sub. He wins by decision. You're kicking yourself. Damn it, I lost with that one. So if you did take him out, just worth saying, all right, you're still going to get a decent upside of the tag. Obviously, when you put in a plus 800, it's more. It's plus 1,831. This is Djorden. Barlow better be on point. I do think he stops Santos. But, again, it's Djorden shit. Barlow goes out, wins a fucking boring decision or something. You're pissed off. That's why, the intelligent way to bet it is just attacking with the fucking money lines. I think Holland pulls through. I really do. Obviously, you guys know I like the Ritter. You guys know I think Bekoev wins. Those 3 is plus 298. You want to add something different to it. Maybe you don't want to just play Jourdain down the center. You want to go Jourdain inside distance. Or maybe you're like, nah, man, I just want to go for the sub. Let me go for the kill shot. Holland, Jourdain, plus 554. With Bekoev now, plus 775. With the over in the Vera Zahabi fight, all right, you got plus 1,012. Little alternate. Alternate Djorden action. You think Danny Barlow wins? He probably does. Plus 1395. Now it's worth your while. You want to throw Jourdain in there? Plus 22. You want to throw Jourdain to win by submission because you're a menace to society? Plus 13,000. We can get fucking crazy all day, bro. We can get stupid crazy all day. Croden, all right, plus 24,000. What else you want from me? What else? What else you want from me now? I feel like that's really it, bro. Luciano, plus 32,000. All right, Luciano decision. What's that? What's Luciano by decision? Where is it? Minus 143, plus 41,000. What the fuck? Degenerate shit, man. Complete degenerate shit. This is not, you know, intelligent betting. This right here is just lottery tickets I like to do for fun. Just talk about, add the intrigue. Plus 73,000 for a KO. But if he gets it done in round one, and if this came to fruition, you're looking at plus 143,226. I know some of you guys like these crazy parlays, so I don't want to leave you guys hanging that like the crazies. But betting intelligently, there's some good calls to be had. Jourdain and Bekoev look like locks. I think that we're going to see some solid fights. And, you know, underdog Holland, I think, is live to come through. I like the over in the Zahabi fight. Jazzy Jazz is live to pull this shit off. Melissa Croden early seems good to go, I think, for a ladies fight. Barlow looked in shape and ready. Silva and Park could be close. I think Park gets the hand raised, but, you know, I see why people would stay away at the tag. At the end of the day, we see what happens on fight day. I hope you guys enjoy the weigh-in recap. I love you all. Smash the likes. If you're new, subscribe it up. Turn on the post notifications too. You don't want to miss a video or live stream. Keep it locked in with the boy. Make sure you share the video. Send it to a friend. W in the comments. I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think of fights, my predictions. What do you got? You like any of the post weigh-in parlays I talked about? Any of the Djorden shit? You got a different one? I want to hear from you in the comments, man. But if you got nothing to say, W to boost the algorithm for your boy. I love you all. I see you for the fight companion. Talk to you guys very soon. Good night. Peace out.